The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on DC News Now this Saturday morning. I'm Haley Milan. We're going to take a live look outside at this 6 o'clock hour. Roslyn looking beautiful, just waking up. It kind of looks like the middle of the night. That looks like a big city skyline whenever Roslyn is lit up like that. But no, it is a Saturday morning here in DC. Meteorologist Brittany Ward here to get us set for this spring day. Brittany, it's been kind of hit or miss weather-wise.
Yeah, you know, overall today we are going to be tracking more showers as we head through the day today, and that's going to also linger into the weekend. So overall, make sure to have the umbrella. The good news is, Haley, it doesn't look to be a washout. So satellite and radar are showing you what's been happening the last couple of hours. We did have a passing shower make their way into southern Maryland, portions of central Virginia. Now it looks like we are starting to see drier conditions across the entire DMV. Mostly cloudy skies. That will be the trend through much of the day today. Now, zooming satellite and radar out just to show you the wider picture. Our friends there in the Tennessee Valley right now dealing with some flooding at this hour. Could also see some severe weather outbreak as you head further off to the west, but closer to the home. A warm front will begin to lift its way in. That's going to be sparking up a few of those isolated showers. And we could also hear a few rumbles of thunder as we head through your day today. Temperature-wise, not looking bad to kickstart your Saturday. We are tracking 64 degrees right now in DC, lower 60s as you head over there to Lexington Park. So keep it here. We'll have a full breakdown of this forecast up next.
All right, Brittany, thank you. Breaking news this morning. DC police say multiple people are injured following a car crash in popular nightlife area around 1:15 a.m. this morning. Officers say a vehicle traveling east on U Street crashed onto the sidewalk near 11th Street Northwest. Multiple pedestrians were injured, with 7 adults taken to the hospital. Police say the injuries appear to be non-life threatening. The driver remained on the scene and is in custody. Now, police believe impaired driving played a role in the crash, but the investigation is still ongoing.
Here's a pass. Ovechkin scores! The Great Eight stand side by side with the Great One.
We here in D.C. would say the greatest of all time. Breaking news this morning, Washington Capitals forward Alex Ovechkin tying Wayne Gretzky's all-time NHL goal record. The fan support for Ovi is intense all across the DMV, with packed watch parties ready to witness the Great Eight make history. And it didn't take long for the crowd to break out into a roar. And the fans watching the game and rooting for 895 at Bugsy's in Alexandria. They were loving it, as you can tell.
When Ovechkin came to Washington, D.C., he turned hockey town here.
I think people are going to lose their minds tonight in D.C. if he does it.
Gretzky was the greatest, but now we'll have a new greatest, right?
That's right. Alex Ovechkin tying the NHL all-time scoring record. The longtime record holder, Wayne Gretzky, was at the game last night. Gretzky told us what it means for Ovechkin to be the one to tie his record.
There's not enough good words that we can talk about. It's just, this is all a positive, you know, and I'm so proud of the fact that I'm here tonight. And the commissioner I talked to the other day, and I said, you know, Alex said, don't get here until I get to 2. And I thought yesterday, gosh, we better get on the plane and get up there, because he might get 3 tonight. And when he scored 4 minutes in, I thought, oh my God, we might be able to leave after the first period.
Such humility there from one of the all-time greats in the game. After the game, Blackhawks players stayed on the ice to do a little handshake line with Ovechkin, who gets his next chance to break the record on Sunday against the New York Islanders. Wall Street is seeing its worst crisis in nearly 5 years. President Donald Trump's reciprocal tariff announcement this week sharpening recession fears and cueing a sell-off in global markets. The S&P 500 lost 6 percentage points yesterday, already falling the day before. And we can confirm NASDAQ is now in a bear market, marking heavy losses. Now here's a clearer look at that slide. Everything from crude oil to big tech stocks have tanked, sending retirement accounts plummeting. In fact, all but 14 of the S&P 500 companies closed trading yesterday in the red. JP Morgan heightened its forecast of the likelihood of a recession of the U.S. economy. But the White House remains optimistic. Yesterday, the president declaring the golden age has begun by celebrating a new jobs report showing the U.S. added about 228,000 jobs in March. But the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell now predicts higher inflation as a result of the new tariffs. The president is calling on Powell to cut interest rates to boost the economy. And it looks like China hit the brakes on negotiating a deal to sell TikTok upon learning about President Trump's sweeping tariffs. The Associated Press reports that the White House was nearing a deal for an American company to buy the video sharing app, but parent company ByteDance ended that conversation this week. President Trump is giving TikTok another 75-day extension to sell or avoid a ban of the app in the U.S. And new this morning, the Senate is working early into the hours of the morning to pass a plan for a major part of President Donald Trump's agenda. The Senate GOP passing a multi-trillion-dollar tax break and spending cut bill on a party line. The bill now heading to the House. Republicans framing the bill as preventing a tax increase for families. Democrats accusing Republicans of planning to increase deficits and cutting safety net programs. Developing now, a Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador is waiting to return to the U.S. A federal judge ordering the government to bring the husband and father back to his family in Greenbelt, Maryland by Monday at midnight. Now, Kilmer Abrego Garcia is legally allowed to live here, and the White House has acknowledged that he was mistakenly deported. His wife suing the federal government when he was swept up in a large deportation effort last month, accused of being a gang member. DC News Now's Ben Dennis is working to get answers from the international community. He tells us a judge says Kilmer must come home, but the White House questioning the judge's authority.
I miss you so much. An impassioned plea from the wife of Kilmer Abrego Garcia, suing to have her husband back on U.S. soil.
I'm doing the best to fight for you and our children.
Her calls answered tonight after her 29-year-old husband was sent to a high-security prison in El Salvador last month, along with over 200 men. A judge ordering he come back to the U.S. Applause scattered outside the courthouse after the decision. Homeland Security officials continue to claim Garcia is an MS-13 gang member. His lawyers say no way. The Trump administration later admitted they should not have deported him, calling it a, quote, administrative error. And despite a 2019 ruling that shielded him from deportation to El Salvador, where he faced likely persecution by local gangs.
In fact, I think it's fair to say that they've spent no effort whatsoever in making it right.
Despite today's ruling, the government filed an appeal. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt telling me, quote, we suggest the judge contact President Bukele because we are unaware of the judge having jurisdiction or authority over the country of El Salvador. Garcia's attorney responding in part, quote, they're not taking this seriously.
That's Ben Dennis reporting for DC News Now. Again, DHS says they're continuing the belief that Garcia is an MS-13 gang member. His attorney denying that. Despite the government's efforts to appeal, DHS says they'll continue to comply with the court orders, keeping keep fighting immigration cases in court, and now they say Garcia will be locked up no matter the location. And tens of thousands of people will rally at the National Mall today. They're protesting the Trump administration and billionaire Elon Musk. The hands-off rally is scheduled in conjunction with demonstrations happening all across the country. The group Free DC says there's been an unprecedented amount of federal interference in the district. That includes an executive order targeting homelessness encampments and crime, even though local officials say they've already been addressing those concerns. There's also congressional spending plans that will cut DC's local budget by $1 billion.
We don't have equal representation under the law here in DC, and that means we're particularly vulnerable to this administration and their whims. We've seen just an incredible consolidation of power in the first few weeks of this administration, in the first 100 days.
The main event starts noon at the Sylvan Theater, and the massive rally creating concerns for an event as we take a live look at the White House this morning. The Trump administration says it's canceling day one of the Spring Garden Tour. In a statement, the White House saying it'll only be hosting the event on April 6th. So anyone with a ticket for Saturday will need to visit Sunday instead between 10 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. The springtime tradition is free. It requires a ticket, though. Well, if you're looking for fun stuff to do, we're helping you stretch your dollar with a free activity for families. Traveling to Amsterdam to see the tulips, it's pretty expensive, but there's a small field of flowers right in the district. The Floral Library sits in the shadow of the Washington Monument. It looks like a mini Keweenhof Garden. When you arrive to see this spot tucked next to the tidal basin, you're treated to pockets of pink, purple, yellow, and fuchsia tulips. It's a great backdrop for your photos, and everyone seems to be smiling while seeing these pretty petals. The National Park Service says there are 93 flower beds, and once the tulips have bloomed, gardeners will start planting annuals. So you'll see a new display of flowers here in a couple weeks to come. And happening this weekend, be prepared for road closures in DC as thousands of runners hit the streets for the 10-mile Cherry Blossom Run. The 5K run is this morning. That starts at Freedom Plaza. The 10-miler is Sunday. It starts at the Washington Monument. Road closures are now in effect, but they're expected to be lifted by noon on Sunday. We've got a full list of the impacts over on DCNewsNow.com. And Metro Rail will open 2 hours early at 5 a.m. So, Brittany, a lot going on today. Yeah. Whether you're sniffing flowers or going out for a nice little jog, people might have to bear some raindrops.
Yeah, you know, they are going to be dodging some showers as we head through the day today. The good news is it doesn't look to be a washout, and these showers today will really be isolated in nature. So planning your day here in the nation's capital, overall not looking too bad. As we head through that 7 o'clock hour, we do have a slight chance of seeing a few showers across the area. Temperatures, though, still expected to be in the 60s. We're holding on to the upper 60s as we head through that 10 o'clock hour, even for the first half of our afternoon. But notice we're going to be dealing with cloudy skies. It's tonight here in the district. That's when we start to see some of those storms roll their way in. So keep it here. We'll have a full breakdown of that forecast, Haley, up next.